Lavinia Fisher, America's first female serial killer? Lavinia Fisher holds the grim distinction of being recognized as America's first female serial killer, or at least the first to captivate public attention with such a title. Born around 1792, Fisher's origins remain shrouded in mystery due to sparse historical records. Alongside her husband, she ran a hotel on the outskirts of Charleston, South Carolina, in the early 19th century, where guests, specifically men, began vanishing under suspicious circumstances. Over time, folklore embellished their crimes, adding details of trapdoors and gruesome theatrics. The more plausible version suggests Lavinia poisoned her victim's tea, while her husband returned later to finish the deed, stealing whatever valuables they carried. Both were eventually caught and sentenced to hang. Legend has it that Lavinia leapt from the gallows in a final act of defiance, choosing death on her own terms. A macabre and fitting end to her terrifying legacy. Aileen Wuornos, the tragic tale of Florida's infamous killer. No discussion of female serial killers is complete without Aileen Wuornos. A Florida sex worker turned killer, Wuornos murdered 7 men between 1989 and 1990, actions that inspired films, documentaries, and books. Her life was a harrowing cycle of abuse and misfortune. Raised in a turbulent home, Wuornos was reportedly beaten and raped as a child. At 13, she became pregnant after being assaulted by a stranger, and her baby was given up for adoption. By 15, she was homeless and turning to prostitution to survive. Her troubled life spiraled further as she moved between petty crimes and arrests. Wuornos' killing spree began in November 1989, when she shot her first victim, Richard Mallory, a 51-year-old electronics store owner. She later claimed she acted in self-defense, a pattern she cited for subsequent murders. Her downfall came when she was arrested after a car accident in a vehicle belonging to one of her victims. Wuornos was executed by lethal injection in October 2002, cementing her place as one of America's most notorious female killers. Belle Gunness, the Black Widow of the Midwest. Belle Gunness was a towering figure, both literally and figuratively, whose trail of victims exceeded 40 by the time her reign of terror ended. Born in Norway in 1859, she emigrated to the U.S., where she built a chilling reputation. Settling in Chicago, Gunness endured a series of mysterious tragedies, including the deaths of her first husband and several of her children under suspicious circumstances. When she moved to Indiana, wealthy suitors drawn to her farm started disappearing. Gunness's schemes often involved poisoning or blunt force, with her victims' assets conveniently ending up in her possession. She employed a farmhand, Ray Lampher, to help her bury evidence, literally. However, after a falling out, she painted him as a threat to authorities. In 1908, her farmhouse burned to the ground. The bodies of her children were found in the rubble alongside a headless corpse presumed to be Gunness, though its physical proportions didn't match her build. Investigators uncovered dozens of buried remains on her property, but Gunness herself vanished, leaving behind a legacy of unanswered questions and chilling speculation. Jane Toppan, the poisonous nurse. Jane Toppan, also known as Jolly Jane, was a lethal nurse whose killing spree spanned decades, claiming the lives of at least 31 victims. Born in 1857 and raised in an orphanage, Toppan's early life was fraught with instability. She began her career in 1885 as a nursing student, where she developed a morbid fascination with experimenting on patients. Her methods involved dosing victims with toxic combinations of drugs, causing them to hover between life and death while she watched in sadistic delight. Toppan admitted that the act of killing excited her, making her crimes both personal and terrifyingly calculated. Her early victims were hospital patients, but she later expanded her scope, murdering landlords, friends, and even her foster sister. Her undoing came when she killed 3 members of the Davis family, prompting a toxicology investigation that exposed her methods. Though charged with multiple murders, Toppan was found not guilty by reason of insanity and spent the remainder of her life in a psychiatric hospital, dying in 1938. Velma Barfield, the poisoner who found redemption. Velma Barfield holds a grim place in history as the first woman executed in the United States after the reinstatement of the death penalty in 1977. Her story is one of poison, deceit, and unexpected redemption. Born in 1932, Barfield lived a life riddled with personal tragedy and addiction. She used arsenic to kill 5 people, including her boyfriend, Stuart Taylor, whom she poisoned after stealing from his bank account. She feigned concern, even nursing him as he grew sicker, but an autopsy revealed the truth. She later confessed to poisoning her own mother as well. Arrested in 1978, Barfield became deeply religious while on death row, earning a reputation as a devout Christian. Though her newfound faith was genuine, it did not absolve her of her crimes. She was executed by lethal injection in November 1984, her chilling story a reminder of the complexities of human morality and justice. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, it really helps us out. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Tap the bell to stay notified whenever we post a new video. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.